this is kind of like a summary. It's my creative idea. So we have, for manifestation, we have light or an idea with intention. We have love with attention, and feelings, emotions, and integrity that create our manifest thought, our experiences, all that we desire. It's sort of everything up here creates what's down here, and everything up here and down here are all included in our spirit life essence, our spirit, mind, and body, our intuition and expression, like all our passions and abilities and thought. Everything is included in that. But our heart center, there's an emphasis there. It has an intelligence of its own, but it's also the essence of love that it is. So it's love with intention and with its essential nature to be part of our creations. We're putting ourselves into our creation, in other words. This part, the third dimension is the densest aspect that we are. And when we increase our vibratory state, we enter into other dimensions, higher frequencies of vibration. And even the highest frequency of vibration is we ascend when we reach 0 point. Any higher vibration of that is actually in touch with spirit and within the element of spirit. Okay? Of course, these two things come from the Bible, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Okay, the tree of life allows us to have a state of unity at all times. In other words, everything goes well for you. The seed forms the roots and then the trunk and the branches of a tree or anything. And then the tree or other plants create cones and seeds. So this is a growth into maturity, and the seeds represent the reproduction and new life. And the seeds go back into the ground to sprout. And this all represents truth, reality, and life. And it's infinite and it's eternal. It's a system that is ongoing because it's part of unity. And it's unlimited. And it's via the will of God as life. The tree of knowledge of good and evil, its essence is a state of duality where good and evil exist. And usually when you combine the two, it ends in some kind of conflict. So you can have an explosion where there's death involved and nothingness comes about. Everything goes back to the earth. This is a dream. It's a dream state. It doesn't actually exist. The tree of knowledge of good and evil doesn't exist. It's an illusion. And so pain and suffering are all illusionary, although we feel them as if they're real. It's a temporal existence. It's temporary. It goes on for as long as we maintain a lower state of vibrational consciousness. When we raise it by feeling good all the time, by having fun all the time, by dancing our life away, singing, just having a good time in life, you won't have any problem with this illusionary state of being. So it does add to confusion to the whole thing, and it's where humanity has free will choice, and you end up in trial and error to begin with until you find out who you really are or who you think you are, and why you're here or what you are. If you believe you're actually a human being and that you don't have the spirit of life within you, well then you have to have something else to make up for it, right? That's what your mind is for, and you can have you go on from there anyway.
That's what television is for. Distracting.
Yeah, it is all distraction. Nature is part of the tree of life, and it's in the realm of unity and God's will. It's within the omnipresence of God and the omnipresence of consciousness and energy. All seeds create a plant, and actually I forgot about animals. Anyway, animals, the seed is planted within the animal, and then the animal gives birth and it grows, and basically seeds are redistributed in the animals to, from the male to the female. So sperm and the sperm and the egg come together, and I think I got that somewhere else. A human egg and human sperm. Okay, but the animals are on this side of nature in unity. So their lives are programmed, essentially. They do not have free will. They obey God's will. They are what they appear to be, and that's all they are. They can't transform or make themselves something different, like we as humans have done. Okay, humanity. We live in the realm of duality, veiling unity, but we do have free will choice within the omnipresence of God, which is unity, and also duality within the duality veiling unity. We're still in the consciousness and energy of the Creator, and we have our own perspective. Every human being has their own perspective, which essentially decides what's going to go on in their life, because it becomes their truth. People are always following their ideas, which is their own truth. And any other human being is supposed to or meant to allow everybody to be themselves, no matter what they come across as. We are not meant to govern anybody else. We are self-governing. We are sovereign. We are fully divine. We are our own creator of our own reality, our own way of being, our own whatever we're doing, our own state of doingness, whatever that is. Usually includes our talents and our abilities. Sometimes we have to learn something, but then we are guided towards doing that, right? So this is the realm where evolution and evolution of consciousness and energy of individuals takes place. It's in the beginning, it's all trial and error, but you're still making choices based on how you feel. And you want to feel good, so usually choices are made on feeling good. But sometimes somebody gets in the way, so you want to get them out of the picture. It's also making known the unknown and finding out what works and what doesn't work. So human egg and sperm create a baby, grows into an adult. This is evolution. This is where evolution comes in. And then you come to copulate and make new children, new life forms. And you can realize through your goals, or you can realize through being yourself, and eventually create a mastery of the human condition.
Is that also known as self-realization?
Yeah. Right. I should have written that in someplace.
Oh, copyright.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Okay. Again, we're dealing with the omnipresence of the spirit of life, which includes omnipotence and omniscience. Okay, there's no boundaries. It's all infinite and eternal. Again, we have unity and we have duality. It's always the same thing. Unity is good for us, and everything is working for us. It's all divine. It's all with the will of God as what we're following. Here we have our own free will, and we're doing the best we can, not realizing spirit until we do, and not realizing what works or what is good for us until we do. But we have to do it through trial and error and listening to other people, maybe not listening to other people, but listening to our own intuition. We have lessons of how do I want to be, who and what am I, that we have to figure out. We have free will of choice regarding of love and divinity, or of negation and separation. And then life, love, and feeling are in unity, and death, denial, and fear of feelings are in duality.
I started to bring my awareness to ascending into the fifth dimension through just using the statement of I'm surrendering my personal will to the divine will. So that helps me to understand where my level of consciousness is at when I'm doing things. Am I doing this for my own self-gratification, or am I doing this in service of the Creator for all mankind, right? Am I doing this to make myself feel good, or am I just doing this because it's something that I'm being guided to do by a higher source, right?
Okay, but you can't wait for guidance. You're living your own life. It's just your awareness you're talking about, right? Because you have to live your own life, and you're doing it while you're living. You're essentially creating your path with your intentions.
Right.
So as long as you're not waiting for something to happen, the Spirit do something for you, like some people I know are doing that.
Yeah, no, I don't ever wait for Spirit to do anything, but I put everything that I do at the feet of the Creator. You know, I'm doing it for the bigger purpose of mankind, or for the highest good of everyone, not just for myself.
Okay.
So I feel like that was part of my ascension, was, you know, not looking for what's in it for me, but working on being a happier, better person for everybody, working at becoming mindful and not angry and violent for everybody, you know, or reacting to fear-based stories, not getting myself involved on that level, right? Like staying...
Right, but also appreciating and being full of gratitude and revering things. That's, you know, you've got it very detailed, and that's fine. And you know what you're doing, that's fine. But essentially you only need to be in appreciation of the Creator and how things are gifted to you, and that kind of how life flows to you, and be in gratitude for everything that comes your way, and give thanks for it, no matter whether it's good or bad, because the good is good, and the bad acts as contrast to make you turn your attention to the good as opposed to the bad stuff.
Right, like we can
So it's
choose who we are by reflecting on what other people are doing that we are repulsed by, and that's our human choice to define ourselves through our awareness in our reality. Like you said, the in duality, when we have those light and dark things that we can reflect on.
Thoughts mainly. Thoughts are creative. Whatever thought, like our consciousness contains the thoughts that is the basis of creation. Beliefs come in there, and intentions come in there, and attention comes in there as well, but the thoughts are the first thing that we invite into our consciousness. And the words become the templates of thoughts.
Right, so always asking yourself, are my thoughts truthful?
Right.
Right, are my thoughts kind?
Right.
Are
they serving you? Right.
Are my thoughts serving my highest good? Are the highest good of everybody? Because my thoughts will turn into my words, will turn into my deeds, right?
And you're not in life alone.
That's true.
So you're wishing well for everybody. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. But working with other people as well, you know, as a life coach or a Reiki coach, in yoga, when I'm coaching my students or the class to overcome the lower levels of consciousness, like I'd asked you earlier, how can somebody tell when they're stuck in
fear?
Fear is an indicator. Depression, ego, but defining the ego so people understand, you know, victim, you know, if they're coming from a place of why is this happening to me? That was one of my greatest lessons this whole past year, was instead of getting so frustrated because life isn't happening the way I want it to be, is just, well, what's the lesson here, right? Instead, why is this happening to me? What does this come to teach me? And then it lightens up your approach to understanding what's happening to you when you're recognizing that this has come for a reason, for a bigger purpose, right? So we can ascend through our problems by looking at it from a different perception instead of going, oh, I'm a victim, like, this always happens. This is always, people are always out to get me, or there's always drama, happening in my life. But you can flip the switch and look at it from a whole other perception, right?
You make the drama good.
Laugh at the drama.
Drama is something people pay money to go and see, right?
Yeah, but I'm just trying to explain it so that not only I can understand it, but I can help other people understand it, because that's, like I said, a big part of my mission is to elevate other people's consciousness or awaken their consciousness, to remind them, not to tell them, but so they can re-tap into that ability to heal themselves, their body and their mind and their spirit. Mm-hmm. The spirit's never well, you say. The spirit's always perfect, right?
Well, it's well-being as well. It's absolute well-being.
Right.
That's what perfection and purity is, absolute well-being. Relief is what you're looking to give to other people.
Stress relief, or
any kind of relief.
And understanding.
Stress relief.
An understanding of recognizing that we have those abilities within us to, like you say, channel the universal energy that's all encompassing and all loving and all embracing and has all the information, right? Like, we all have that ability to tap into that source.
We are within it. It's like we are in the omnipresence, and we are a wellspring for the energy to come through us, except it comes through our consciousness, but also comes into our heart center. That's why we have all these different chakras. Each one is for a very specific purpose, and they all contribute to our aura. We have different. I should have a book, Ramtha's book. It shows you the bands that surround us.
The subtle bodies.
They're actually bands of energy that you can. They go one way for one purpose, another way for another purpose, and Ramtha explains that. I don't remember what it's about now, though. I'd have to look at it again.
Yeah, I'd be interested to talk to you more about that and define, get a better explanation for myself as well, because that's a lot of the work that I do with other people, is helping them to understand the chakra system, and so that they can elevate their consciousness and rise into better states of being within themselves and their reality, when they can recognize that they can ascend through their...
You can make it easy for them, just as Abraham does through Esther Hicks. She just says, look for the goodness, feel good, look to feel good in everything you're doing, because that keeps you not only on an even keel, but it actually brings you into an awareness of what feeling good is, that you're embodying, right? And there's higher and higher realms of feeling good, like having passion and bliss and that kind of thing.
Yeah, or if you're not having fun, why are you doing it? But it's tricky sometimes, because we're stuck in patterns of consciousness that are fear-based or guilt-driven, right? Or the ego. The ego keeps us out of our higher states of bliss.
Well, what you're talking about when you say we're stuck, we're not really stuck. We're constantly moving, but we're having the same thoughts over and over again, which recreates our experience. It creates it over and over again, right? Everything is moving all the time. Like if you look at the microcosmic element of life, the electrons, protons, neutrons, that whole thing about the atom, and how these things are moving constantly at various speeds for each element, right? That's a microcosm, and that is the basis of every cell, everything in our body. And
so we're always changing.
Yeah, but we're changing according to our mindset.
Okay.
And if we change our mind to a different mindset, everything changes within our body, within our reality.
So if you're looking for goodness, you're going to see the goodness everywhere.
Yeah. See, we're creating our body. It is our creation. We're creating our reality, and that is not the same for everybody else. Because not everybody notices everything that's going on in reality, right? Not everybody notices. Each one of us has our own specific antenna that is out to just see what we believe in. In other words, it reinforces our thinking and what we're involved in as far as life goes. So we can be consciously involved in a negative aspect, consciously involved in a positive aspect, or somewhere in the middle, engaging both. But the way to a higher vibration is through the positive aspects of life. And you don't need to engage them all. If you just want to feel good, go dancing. Listen to beautiful music. Listen to your family having a good time, right? Being engaged in, I don't know, down the beach swimming in the water or something on a nice, beautiful sunny day, or maybe up the mountain skiing like today. It's a beautiful day.
As long as no one gets hurt.
Well, don't get into a state of worry.
No, I get that. I had a few friends with snowboarding injuries last weekend, so.
Yeah, the thing is, we can't create in somebody else's reality. Our reality is within our own dimensional beingness, right? It's a frequency of vibration that we alone hold. Nobody else has the same frequency of vibration. So it's a dimensional reality. Nobody can come into our space unless we invite them. And we invite them with our state of being. If we're at a lower state of being, then we're vulnerable to lots of things coming our way.
That's why when it rains, it pours, right? Something bad happens, and oh no, it's happening
Rain is
again.
a good thing, though.
Well, thank you for coming today, Alex. It's been a delight.
It's been fun, actually.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. We're going to let our listeners know how to get in touch with you. You feel like you're open to taking on maybe a study group in the future, or just having kind of one-on-one conversations about, people have questions about what we talked about today, if they want to, discuss a little further, or maybe get some more book references, or
If anybody wants to start a club, like a dance party or something, and have it on a regular basis, I'll attend, definitely.
that's what you're looking
I love
for.
music,
Party?
I love dance, I love...
Or sharing circle. You were saying you were thinking of starting a community sharing circle.
Yeah, for basically to bring new ideas into, to enlighten ourselves and empower ourselves with new ways of being in our life situation, right? Because this is a time when it's happening. There is more going on that is seen by anybody, basically.
Almost like a mastermind to come up with
See,
figure thinking solutions to
this involution and evolution of consciousness program that we are involved in, it ended on December 31st, 2012. Okay, so we are in the process of change. That's what all this commotion and chaos is about, and why every government in the world is having their problems, because they're not going to exist for very long, because we don't need a government. We are self-governing ourselves. We are individuated gods, in a sense. And how that plays out is not up to us, really, except we are meant to be ourselves, our loving selves, like our divine selves, as much as possible. If you're on the negative state or the negative side of the scale of life, and you're engrossed in the wars and the killing and everything, you're not going to survive. Because all that is going somewhere else.
That's great news.
Yeah, it is. But most people aren't aware of it. They're still trying to do their best in politics and in their social structures to do with the education of their kids and earning money and being prosperous and that kind of thing. there's an easier way. Maybe we'll do that next time, if we have a next time.
We should. We will. I'd love to have you back. I'd be very appreciative to have you back and talk with you more and share your message with our viewers
About the easy way.
about the easy way
Okay.
of manifesting and just improving your reality. In the meantime, coming up in March, I am starting a sharing circle, a meditation and sharing circle. I'd love it if you could come out one Thursday. That'll be coming up next month in March, and yeah, it'd be nice to have you aboard.
Okay. I don't consciously meditate. To me, it's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to me is what I have trained myself and God as to what I'm going to do is I meditate whenever I'm doing something. Like my hands are involved, my consciousness is clear of anything else. So that's when I get the inspiration. It's like the way musicians work, the way writers work, the way
Yogis work.
yeah,
We move and meditate. You know, that connection, we're present.
that's right. You got the right word. It's your presence, being mindful, being
Yeah.
aware of, essentially if you're aware of yourself as being a spiritual being first and foremost. Because we're spirit having a human experience.
Yeah, I like that explanation. All right, well, we'll wrap it up, and thanks again for coming. And we'll attach your phone number.
Okay.
Is that a good thing? So
Well, I don't know how else we can,
so people can get a hold of you, because you don't have an email address or a website. So
yeah. I don't deal with technology.
right. Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.